where the gray is on your head. If you only have gray at the temples and gray through the top, and you've got longer hair, it's a little different with short hair, and you've got longer hair, you can cheat and get away with buying a digital scale and using your color, but only putting enough of the developer and the color in the bowl to touch up what you've got going on as far as regrowth is concerned. And that goes for both permanent and demi-permanent. So, and a lot of people, you know, it's kind of, I use the analogy of people who have acne, right? Or, you know, you have a breakout on your face, and, you know, a lot of people, they just automatically go, okay, I'll just shellac my face, just put a bunch of, you know, really, really pigmented foundation on to deal with the 15% that's bugging them. When really what you should be doing is putting on, you know, a luminous, really pretty foundation that sort of evens out your skin tone, and then, you know, spot concealing the parts that are bugging you, because the rest of your skin is great. It's just this stuff, right? Same analogy. So look at your hair. You know, if you've only got gray here and here, get a digital scale, measure just enough to cover, and do that. And that makes touch-ups a lot less time consuming and a lot less crazy making than doing the whole head. One of the things that is most important to me, if you take nothing away from this but what I'm about to tell you, I will be happy. Hair color, on the box or in the instructions, it tells you to put the color on the roots, the grow out. And then in the last 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the manufacturer, drag the hair color through to the rest of the hair. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you, it is the worst thing, because what you're doing is you're putting on another layer of permanent hair color, another layer of lift and deposit onto that hair. And often, you know, the stuff on the ends, that's great. You love the stuff on the ends. It doesn't need to be colored again. And in the salon, you know, I see hair as, with clients, ongoing clients that come in, they have 2 heads of hair. They've got this head, which is the grow out, and then they've got the rest of it. And so what I do is I tone the rest of it with semi-permanent, sometimes with demi-permanent hair color. And so one of the things that you can do before you put the hair color on is put a really nice conditioner on your hair. Put a mask, put, you know, something that you really, really makes your hair feel good. Not at the roots, not anywhere where you're going to be coloring the gray, but on, you know, everything else. And what that does is it helps protect the hair. If you're sloppy, or for whatever reason, you know, things kind of get a little crazy, you're not, the hair color is going to have to work harder to get through that conditioner. You want to make sure that your hair is clean. It doesn't have to be spotless. You can have, you know, if you're using permanent hair color, you can have oil, and, you know, your hair can be dirty, as far as, you know, natural dirt, you know, sebum and oils on your scalp. If you wear a lot of product, wash your hair before you do it and dry it. It's an extra step. It's a pain, but it's worth it, because especially if you're using a demi-permanent hair color, if you've got anything on your hair, and the demi-permanent is already more easygoing by nature, you don't want to put any barriers between you and that hair color. Okay, so wash your hair if it's got a lot of product in it, or, you know, if you just have an oily scalp and you're using permanent hair color, don't worry about it. It's actually kind of protective to have dirty, quote unquote, dirty hair. One of the things that I recommend people do is Revlon, for example. They make these Color Bomb conditioners that are They have, I don't know how many different shades. I think, yeah, 15 or 20 different shades. Use something like that, or a colored color mousse. Not a mousse that has color in it, not a styling mousse that has color in it, but Schwarzkopf and Goldwell both make mousses that are pigmented, and they're specifically for refreshing hair color. So use one of those two things. You can use on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Let's say you have a copper. Reds are notorious for fading. So use a product that has color in it that will refresh the ends instead of relying on the color, the box color to refresh. It's just not worth it. And you're creating more problems down the road. So that's the one thing that I always tell my clients is very important. The only place that you use that color, be it demi-permanent or permanent, is on the roots, okay? So that's my biggest rule. What else? If you have really, really, really stubborn gray hair, let's say you've got a spot that just never takes. It just doesn't take. What you can do is you can mix a little bit more color than conditioner. So it's a little thicker. And what that does is it ups the ammonia, which makes it allows it to kind of get in there and cover the gray. So what you can do is kind of mix it a little bit thicker. Don't add all of the developer. Spot apply it on those areas that really tick you off. Then add the rest of the developer, and then mix it up and put the rest of it on the rest of your hair that isn't quite as stubborn. Okay. Processing is important. They give you usually a plastic bag that is great, but you need to not cover your hair and make it so that the oxygen can't process the hair color. Hair color is it oxidizes as it works, and that's what creates the hair color. And so if you put a plastic bag on and remove the possibility of any oxygen getting to your hair color, it won't process nearly as well. The other thing is stay in a warm place. Don't put your hair color on and then go out and do the recycling, unless it's like, a nice day out. But even then, just stay inside. Stay in consistent temperature in a relatively warm area, because warmth helps all of that chemical process to sort of bloom and take place. And that's really important. What you can do is you can take the plastic bag and just kind of put it on your head like, a medieval cap. You can cut it so that it just kind of fits over your head like a little dome and you look like a complete doofus, but it helps to kind of keep that warmth in your head. And some people are naturally hotter than others. There are, when I have a new client, I'll actually put my hand above their head and feel how warm they are. And some people, I can feel the warmth with my hand up here. It's crazy. And some people, it's different. It's different for everybody. So if you have a naturally really warm head and you can actually feel your own, then you don't even really have to worry about putting, any kind of bag over your head. But if you're naturally a little cooler, put the bag on. Just drape it on and process. One of the problems that people have is they get stained along the hairline. You can do one of two things. You can go to Sally Beauty Supply or go online to Amazon and get a stain blocker, which you put on your hairline before you put on the hair color. I would recommend doing that, and it doesn't block the hair color. However, that said, if you are using a demi-permanent hair color, I would be careful, because demi-permanent is already softer and less aggressive than permanent. And so even though they say it doesn't block it, I wouldn't take a chance. If it's permanent hair color, you can go ahead and do that. The other option that you can do is, before you get in the shower or before you wash your hair, take a spray bottle with water and mist your hairline, and go in with your finger and massage the color. It sounds counterintuitive, but massage the color into your skin, because color removes color. And so, if you kind of get in there and create this, emulsify this area, you won't have such a dark stain on your face, on your skin. Some people don't stain at all, or some people, like me, you look at me sideways and I'm stained for a week, even with the rubbing. So, but that's a good trick, is to kind of get in there and emulsify it so that it's kind of this sort of creamy jelly thing, and then wash your hair. Let's talk shampoo. One of the biggest problems